friend of me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend of me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend of me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend of me.
What's up out there, family and friends? It's your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, coming again, man, to break this bread with you on a Thursday night. If you would, please go ahead and share this link out to your friends and family, as I'm about to do the same. All my replayers, give me about 45 seconds as I share this out to all my friends. Y'all know what we say. If they can't grow with you, they can't what? They can't go with you. And anybody you're looking at and you want to see them live a better life, you want to see them have more than what they have today, anybody you want to see progress in their life, I'm telling you, these conversations that we have on this podcast, on this YouTube channel, on this Facebook Live is imperative to the growth and maturation of your life. See, there's so many people out there already that's telling you what you can't do and how you're supposed to not do it. And how you're supposed to not do it, and how you're supposed to struggle, and how you're supposed to strain, and 15 or 20 different reasons why you can't have what you want. But I'm telling you today that there's a version of your life out there that exists to where you can have it all. But part of you getting to that version of you requires that you take in new information. And that's where a lot of people get it wrong. They think that the knowledge that I have today will eventually get me to where I want to be tomorrow. Let me tell you what I do know. The knowledge you've gotten today has gotten you to where you are today. If you don't increase and improve knowledge, you'll end up in the same seat 5 years from now without the evolution of who you are and how you think. I just broke bread. For everybody out there early, I just broke bread. Hey, again, it's your boy, the motivational teacher. I'm starting to see the eyes come in the room. As you come on, holler at your boy, let me know who is out there. Episode 165 of Awaken Your I Am. I'm on a brand new Thursday night because this is where I had time to break this bread. And I'm just hopping on when I can. Your boy has been, we had last week off for vacation, fall break for the kids. We took some time away as a fam. So I didn't get to see you all on this past Monday. I was traveling. So I didn't get to see you all. So I decided to pop on here on this Thursday night. I'm seeing people come in the room. If you come in the room, shout your boy out. Let me know who's out there. So we're here tonight, episode 165 of Awaken Your I Am. And I'm not going to be on here for an hour tonight. I'm going to be on here for a brief moment. But I wanted to talk to you about your seeing, how I see things, my eyesight, my vision. I want to talk to you about your vision. I want to talk to you about how do we change what we see. See, there's a theory in life, or there's a group of people that believe out here is that I can only have what I'm supposed to have, and what I have in my life, and the manifestation that I get is what God has given me. And there's a group of people that believe that there's no divine providence in my own life, that I only believe that God has made the decision to put me here, and none of my cause, or there is no effect to how I end up in a different place. Like my life, my life's goal, my life mission, my life's manifestation has already been laid since the foundation of earth, and there's nothing I can do to change it. There's some that live with that thought every day in their life. And if you know I'm breaking bread, holler at your boy. There's some that believe that my life is locked and it's already been predetermined and predestined what I can and what I cannot do. So motivational teacher, I don't put more effort into anything I do. I don't go early and I don't stay late. Motivational teacher, I talk to people how I feel like it, because my lot in life is already locked. I'm gonna break bread tonight. And some of you all out there have thought that same mindset about your own life. Truth be told, at one point, I had that same mindset, that the gifts of calling are without repentance. I was thinking that no matter what I do, no matter how I go about life, I will get to my ultimate goal. Why? Because it's been predestined. Now let the motivational teacher break a little bread. The thing that I love is that your gifts and your talents have been predestined. They've already been predetermined. You've been given gifts and you've been given talents. So never look at yourself like you're dormant, like there's nothing that my hands specifically are supposed to do. Every person that comes to earth have a gift, they have a talent. Solve that today. There's something you've been sent to earth to solve. That put that in your pipe and smoke it. That's truth. There is something you have been sent here to do. Let's not argue it. Let's not debate it. Let's not talk about it. Let's not ponder over it. Let's not be inquisitive about it. There is something that you have been sent to earth to do. Right there, problem solved. You know your life have meaning. Number two, how you see life determines what you see in life. How you physically see life determines what you physically see in life. I know it. Motivational teacher, are you saying the same thing? How I see life is how I see life. I'm saying it like this, motivational teacher, before a house ever becomes a physical structure, that house first has to be seen on a blueprint. That house has to be seen on a blueprint before it can be seen in the natural. So how you see it determines how you see it. That's a bread-breaking moment right there. And some people are going to miss that because they're only thinking with their natural eyes. But how I see my prosperity determines how I see my prosperity. If I can see my prosperity on the blueprint, I can see the physical structure of my prosperity on earth. How I see it determines how I see it. If my seeing it is wrong, the manifestation on the outside will be just as conflicted as my seeing it. It's a bread-breaking moment. And I can almost get off this thing right now. If you understand that, if I change how I see it, I can change how I see it. If I change my thoughts about it, I can change how I see it. If I change my feelings about it, I can change how I see it. See, too many of us believe that we create from the external to the internal. And I'm telling you, that's but backwards. We create from the internal to the external. And a lot of people won't say they're rich until they have the things that make them rich. I'm telling you, how you see it on the inside determines what you say on the outside. It's a bread-breaking moment. I'm telling you right now, you have to say I'm healed before I get the report of my healing. Why motivational teacher? Because how you see it has everything to do with the outlook of how you receive it. If you don't see it properly, you can't receive it properly. We get what we see. We get what we see. The pure evidence that you've gotten it, that you have it is right, because that means you had to see it. The life that you're living right now is all about what you've seen. If you've seen no different in your life will always reflect how you see and how you perceive it. It's a bread-breaking moment right now. If I change how I see it and how I perceive it, I can change what I see about it physically. But as long as I see it through the eyes of mediocrity, and I see it through the eyes of dimness, and I see it through the eyes of lack, and I see it through the eyes of not enough, guess what? It'll never be enough. But the moment I start seeing what I have in my hand as enough, it creates the ability for me to get to the place where I have enough. You'll never have enough up front until you see it on the inside that I have enough. Hey, Elke, thanks for joining us. It's so funny. Like right now, I'm in a circle. I'm in a circle with a lot of people, rich people, people that's trying to make it, people that need help to make it. And it's funny. This is what I know. You can see someone right now who's making $50,000. And 3 years ago, they were making $20,000. And what I've noticed is that the person who's making, let's say 50 right now, that was making 20 last year, is still now complaining about the 50. Then the same person that made the 50 gets to 70 in 7 years, and they're complaining about the 70. So, motivational teacher, are we ever? I'm being honest now. I'm just breaking bread. I'm being honest right here. There are a group of people out there that's never going to be content. They're going to always see what's wrong with something instead of seeing what's right. They're going to always see that the glass is half full. They're going to always see that I don't have this. They're going to always look to what they don't have instead of allowing their eyes to be drawn to what they do have. You've gone you've gone in 3 years you earned $15,000 more, and I'm complaining about that, and I'm complaining about what I have today. But what I have today is God has blessed me and put me in a much better situation than I was yesterday. And then most of us believe that we just haphazardly expect the great I am to awaken our I am to much more than that when we're not appreciative of what I have today. Hey, Vaniqua, thanks for joining us. Well, I'm not appreciative of what I have today. Why would I give you more when you're not appreciative of what you have today? I'm talking about today, Vaniqua, about how we see. How we see determines what we see. If you don't have an attitude of gratitude, the way you view your life, the way you view your children's life, the way you view life through that lens will always be distorted based upon your own viewpoint. And if your lens is distorted, you can never maximize your manifestation. How you see it determines how you see it. Oh, well, big bro, motivational teacher, I'm just believing for this big house and this big car and this big business. And I'm telling you, you can sit there and believe all you want until you see it on the inside and you're willing to put the work in to become the person who can obtain it. Then you're only babbling. You sound like a baby jargoning, bye, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. We sound like children. When it reached the ears of the great I am, it sounds like jargon because we don't believe it. How you know, motivational teacher? Because your mouth, your words, and your actions does not back up what you say you believe. Always negative. Man, let me tell y'all something, man. Like negative people make me like I cannot be around people that are negative much longer. I know hey, you say it's the sick that need the doctor. Well, I am not the doctor for negative people. Listen, man, I gotta tell you all something. Like and you all know this because I see the eyes. When you're striving for greatness and you're trying to do something that's never been done in your genealogy, and you're trying to think big and go beyond anything you could ask or imagine, there is always, I'm gonna say this, y'all. I'm gonna say this, and y'all just know my heart on this. There's a piece of you that always questioning, man, can I do it? There's a piece of you wondering, I know I'm the great I am is awakening my I am. There's always a piece of us when you're going above and beyond that's always that little seed of doubt that remains on the inside of you that we always have to overcome. That's what keeps us humble. That's what keeps us praying. That's what keeps us dreaming. That's what keep us grinding, is that little seed of doubt. And I'm telling y'all, I live in the space every day of my life. Am I qualified? Can I get the job done? And that's that little seed of doubt that I believe, Lord, but help my unbelief. But that's that seed of doubt. Come on, thank you for joining us, James, that we always have to overcome. And if I'm around too many negative people at one time, or if I'm listening to too many negative voices, it feeds that little seed of doubt. And if we allow negative people and negative influences and negative TV shows and negative music to influence that seed begins to grow. And before you know it, we're making confessions, we're making decisions from that seed of doubt, and we're not maximizing the part of us that believe we truly can. That's why it's important that you protect your seeds. That's a bread-breaking moment right there. How you see it determines how you see it. That's a bread-breaking moment right there. And so we have to guard our hearts. We have to guard our seed because ultimately it determines my manifestation. I can't get anything different if I don't start seeing it different. And I cannot see it different without taking in new information. Hey, this is a bread-breaking moment right here. If I'm not taking in new information and creating new thoughts mixed with new emotions, I can't have it. Oh man, I'm breaking bread right now. I've been praying for that thing for this long. Now, before I go this route, let me say, in the eyes of the great I am, there's no time and space. There's no such thing. 1,000 years is but a day, and a day is but 1,000 years. So he's not concerned with the amount of time that it takes to get it. But I am concerned that in that period of time that we're building the right habits and we're making the right decisions and we have the right viewpoint of what we're trying to build, of what I'm trying to create. That's a better word. What I am trying to create. Because if I create it wrong on the blueprint, the physical what's the word? The physical monument or the physical property of whatever I'm building will be off in the natural if I am misaligned in my vision when I'm making the blueprint. The physical structure, that's the word I'm looking for. The physical structure of what you're trying to build will be off, not because the measurements are off, but because the blueprint was off. You can't start from a flawed blueprint and get a perfect monument. Oh, that's a bread breaking moment. If the blueprint is flawed, then the physical structure will be flawed. Why you say that, motivational teacher? I'm telling you, before you start on the physical monument, you need to work on how you see it first. I'm telling you. Let me say it like this. When the great I am starts a thing, he tells the end from the beginning. What's up, Charles? He tells the end from the beginning. So when he finishes a thing, he's already seen it from ending to beginning. Come on, man. This is a bread breaking moment right here. And so I'm challenging you that when you're getting ready to start a thing, start with it from the end, from the beginning, on the inside of you. That's strong right there now. That's strong. And it takes some spiritual eyes and ears to be able to understand what I just said, because twice was it done. Like when we say, oh, let the heaven, what do you say? Let there be light, and there was. When he said, let there be, and there was, that was the second time it was created. The first time it was created on the inside of the great I am, and the second time it was manifested on the earth. Just like when I say, when I'm training or when I'm training kids or when I'm coaching somebody on my team, I speak to what I want them to be or what I want them to see. This is who you are. You are a beast. You are an animal. You're a top 10% sales force. This is what you are. But how you get there, it's the question we have to discover. Everybody's journey is not the same. How we get there, it's the question of discovery that only the great I am has to awaken that I am to understand the journey or the voyage in which he's created for them to get there. And see, that's why I'm telling you, how you see it determines how you see it, because if you see yourself as filthy rags, and if you see yourself as not capable, and if you see yourself as not having the energy, if you see yourself as not having the brain power, the stamina, then how you see it on the blueprint is what the physical structure looks like when it comes back to you. Oh my God, that's a bread breaking moment. That's a bread breaking moment. Like, we spend so much time on the physical structure, or we're trying to get to that place where we negate to build it the right way on the inside. So therefore it can never come out right on the outside. Motivational teacher, I don't know why that business deal didn't work. I can tell you why it didn't work. The blueprint was flawed. Motivational teacher, I don't know why I keep going down these same rabbit holes every 2 years and I'm ending up in the same place. I know why. Because the blueprint is flawed. And you say, man, a man doesn't know his own heart. Yes, he does. He has to be intentional and deliberate about his own life. If I keep going around this mountain every 2 years, at some point, I got to stop and think about it. Stop walking around the mountain. Stop walking around and stop and look at the mountain and think to myself, how in the world do I get over, around, or through this mountain? And we got to start devising a new plan, because I've been going the same pattern the same way the last 10 years and my life looks exactly the same, then I got to abort the plan that I'm on. And I got to sit down with my own thoughts, with the great I am who awakens my I am, and rediscover how I move. I got to change it. I got to change some things. How I see it determines how I see it. If I see it through the lens of fear, if I see it through the lens of unbelief, if I see it through the lens of a poverty mindset, if I see it through the lens of somebody just trying to take advantage of me, if I see it through that lens, then I'll always look for ways to protect myself. And then if I'm looking for ways to protect myself, the great I am says, I'm your vindicator. If you're going to vindicate you, just know that how you see it comes with a flawed monument on the outside. I just don't want to be hurt again, motivational teacher. Motivational teacher, I just don't see myself going down that road again. Well, just understand that's how you see it. And then when you see it that way, you limit what the great I am can do in your life. And just know your monument, when you see it physically on the outside, will be flawed based on how you saw it on the inside. Your blueprint was off. Therefore, the physical structure that you're trying to create will be off. Oh my God, that's a bread-breaking moment. Motivational teacher, I want a marriage like the Huxtables. I want my wife, I want this kind of marriage, and I want it like this, and I want this kind of life, and I want all those different things, motivational teacher. I want that life, but then the question is, how do you become the person that can have that life? Oh my God, that's a bread-breaking moment. How do I become the person that can have that life? I can't be the person that's lying, cheating, conniving, stealing, looking to take advantage of people, and say then I want this nice, prosperous marriage. I want all these things added unto me, but you're not the person. How you see yourself is not the person that can obtain that structure. So the question is, how do I change my blueprint to fit that as a structure of where I can have a beautiful house, I can have a beautiful husband, wife, or spouse, I can have beautiful kids. How do I become the person? That's the question. How do I become the person that can see that blueprint so I can attain the physical structure of it? I know this is not a whole bunch of spiritual stuff. I know this is not dealing a lot with your deity, but this has everything to do with your humanity. If you're going to create, you create from how you see. I love it. Joe Dispenza says it this way: in order to change your personal reality, you have to change your personality. Motivational teacher, what is he saying? He's saying that if you want to see something different, you have to become somebody different to see the different you want to see. I can give you another example. My favorite book said, let this mind that be in Christ be also in you. What does that mean? If you want my manifestation and you want to manifest what you didn't have, let this mind that be in Christ be also in you. He said, have a mind transformation. Change what you see in order to change what you see. That's why he always talked about renewing the mind, and he talked about you not wrestling against flesh and blood, but principalities and power. Why? Because he's speaking to one thing: renewing and dominating the space between your ears. The most important real estate on this earth is the 6 inches between your ears. It's the most important real estate on the earth. We have ADT to protect our house. We have alarms to protect our cars. We have LifeLock 360s to protect our credit. But to protect the most important real estate in our life, there's nothing to guard our ears and our heart from conversations and from people that take away from our ultimate being. That's a bread-breaking moment right there. Every natural thing that we have in our life, we have alarms and all these other things to trigger when there's activity that shouldn't be there. But then when it comes to the most important real estate, we'll allow people to dump on us. We'll allow people to tell us how war is my life, and then they tell us war is our life because we want something different. You better get LifeLock 360 on your imagination. You better get LifeLock 360 on your most important real estate. Those are the people that's stealing your vision. Those are the people that's stealing your eyes have not seen, your ears have not heard, because you're not protecting your most important real estate. You're giving free reign to people that don't deserve you. Oh my God, that's a bread breaking moment. You giving rent-free space to people that don't deserve to be in your ear. I'm gonna say it this way, to people that don't deserve to be in your head. That's a bread breaking moment right there. You're giving away your most valuable resource rent-free to people that don't deserve to be there. Catch that and grow. We got to start protecting what I see, what I hear, and what I say, because it determines ultimately what I see. When we're talking to our children, it's important that we protect their I am. I really do believe that God has given us children for one reason. I mean, to protect. I'm gonna say this. He's entrusted us to the children that he gave us until they become adults to protect their I am. It's so important that we don't dwell on the 20 or 30% that our children get wrong, and that we spend more time on the 70% that they correct. And it's more important that we praise them tremendously when they correct their behaviors. All right, motivational teacher, you turning this into a parenting class? I'm not turning this into a parenting class, but I'm just saying, like, if we're going to protect their I am, it's important that we just don't harp on them about what they do wrong all the time. Now, there are moments and seasons where, okay, buddy, you got to get this right. You got to get this right. But then when we see a change in behavior, we need to acknowledge and celebrate that change in behavior. You say, oh, well, I didn't get it when I grew up. Well, you think about you as an adult right now. When you go in and you stay and work more than what you're supposed to be there, you look for overtime, right? Well, it's time and a half I'm going in on a holiday. You're looking for that, right? Well, it's the same concept. It's the same mindset that when we're working with our children, when they make the right decisions, we should reward those behaviors. I'm not saying go buy them a new iPhone 14, but I am saying, what about a hug or a high five or a chest bump to say, I knew you could. I knew you got that. I knew you had it the whole time I was fussing at you and telling you need to change that behavior. I did it because I knew you could do it. Look at you now, shining like a North Star. I knew it was in you the whole time. Like, that kind of stuff matters. And to be honest, while I'm going down while we're having this conversation and I'm going down this road, it's important for us to know that when we get it right, we look for praise. We look for recognition. We want our spouse to acknowledge when I did something different. I washed the clothes, I folded the clothes, I cleaned up the kitchen without you, or whatever we do. We want our spouse to recognize it. Or if I'm at my job and I go above and beyond, I want my boss to recognize going above and beyond. When I do, I want the great I am to acknowledge what I did. What do you say? If you sow good, will you not reap good? It's the whole system. It's how humans are wired. It's how humans are wired. Like, I do believe that any leader could get any behavior from anybody. It's a bread breaking moment. I ain't gonna say anybody. Most people. Some people just don't want to do right. From most people, I believe that leaders can garnish the right behavior from anybody. I do believe that. I believe everything rises and falls on leadership. If you're in a leadership role, you are in a very important role, and you control the outcome of many lives of people who depend on you for their well-being. And I'm a people leader myself, or used to be a people leader myself. And being a people leader, I had 11 families. Like, the mood of that parent depended on when they got home, how they were at work that day. And that's not a responsibility that I take lightly. Not a responsibility that I look over easily, because I look at it like the great I am has entrusted me with these people for this season. And if I'm going to be successful, they all have to be successful, and their lives have to be better because they had me as a manager or a boss or a person of influence in their life. Their lives have to be better. If they're not, then I failed as a leader. I own that responsibility in my household with my wife and my kids. I own that responsibility in my house. Is that if they don't have an environment of stability, then I have to own that it's me as the head of the household that provides the stability. I got to own if it's not stable, that's on me. If I'm all up and down in my emotions and you don't know whether I'm coming or going, there's no way that I can create a stable environment where they can flourish. That's on me. And that's what the great I am wants to provide for you, an environment that's stable so you can flourish. But in order to get that environment, you listen, a lot of times it's our lifestyle and our habits that we built that create dysfunction around us. And how you see the world is through a lens of dysfunction. So your structure is flawed on the external when it's time because you've only operated in chaos in so long. I heard one motivational speaker say, if you can't operate in chaos, then like you'll be limited. Something he said to that degree, and I completely disagree. It's very difficult to build when you're in stress. I know you all heard of your flight or flight kicks in, and then whether you go fight or flight, when at times when your body is in fight or flight, your hormones are tensed up, you're more anxious, you're more nervous, there's more thought going on just about how to keep it afloat, which is not, you cannot build in the midst of chaos. In the chaos, you're just trying to keep it calm. Not trying to add 40,000. I'm not trying to increase my network. I'm not trying to increase my business when everything around me is going awry. Right now, I'm trying to get to a place of stability. And then once I get to a place of stability, now I look to grow. And see, here's the challenge for most of us, that our stability is rooted in our everyday behaviors. It's rooted in our everyday behaviors. Like, I want us to get to the place where what we see lines up with what we want to build, where my blueprint is equal to what I want to see. But that requires that I change my lens that I look through. Like Elke said, I have to start seeing through an eyes of gratitude. It attracts more abundance because you're grateful for what you already have, and he blesses you with more. I got to change my lens that in all things, I am going to give thanks because I believe that they all work together for my good. I'm not going to sit back. I can't make, I'll be honest. I'll be honest. Like yesterday, I can say it today. Yesterday, I was traveling, and man, like I was like, listen, man, when I say I looked in the mirror, I said, and I looked tired. I looked in the mirror and I looked, my eyes were droopy. You can see the little red, and I was traveling and I looked tired, but I would not bring my mouth to say I am tired. I could not fix my mouth to say I am tired. Why, motivational teacher? Boy, it's a bread breaking moment. It's a bread breaking moment. I could not make myself say I'm tired, less that if I began to look through the lens of fatigue and look through the blueprint of fatigue, then I would build and I would cut corners and make shortcuts the rest of the day, because I can say, oh man, I was just tired. I could have not gotten up and gone to the gym because I would have just made, oh, I was just tired. I don't have to go this morning. I don't have to wake up at 5 and go to the gym this morning because I'm tired. I wouldn't allow myself to say that I was tired. Why? Because I gave myself an excuse or a reason not to be at peak performance the rest of the day. I would not allow myself to say it. I felt it sometimes, but it would not come out my mouth. I said, I'm going to keep it moving. Once I get through this day and my head hit that pillow, it's a wrap. But until then, I got to be excellent. I'm not looking to take plays off, because it's these moments of discomfort where we experience the most growth. It's in the moments where I don't believe I'm capable. I don't know that I can, but I keep pushing. Those are the moments when I am most productive. Boy, that's a bread breaking moment because you know how I see it. My lens is the tired is a mindset. That tired, like I learned this in college, playing basketball. I learned this in college that the human body, oh my God, it's a bread. And if some of my teammates out here, they're gonna laugh at this because I was always my first year, I was last, always with running. I was the one that couldn't hardly make it, and they'll laugh at this comment. What I learned is that the mind is always willing. It's this human body that sometimes wants to feed us a narrative that we can't make it or we can't accomplish it or we can't do it. And our mind starts believing that story that body is telling us. And I'm telling you, the moment your mind becomes better than your emotions and your body is the moment where you take control back over your whole life. So I'm saying that to say this, that I wouldn't allow myself to acknowledge I was tired because I know I had to finish the day. My acknowledging I'm tired only gave me a way to say, Aunt, you can skip this corner, you can skip that, you can half do that. You don't have to do that at all. Just get through the day. And I would not acknowledge it because my body is not greater than my mind. My body don't make decisions for my life. My mind does. My emotions don't make decisions for my life. My mind does. Fatigue is a state of your body, and your mind has to be greater. It's all about what lens do you look through. There were moments. I know some of you all have kids. You know there were moments you stayed up all night with those kids and had to go punch that time clock the next day. How did you make it? Because your mind was greater than your body. Your mind was greater than your body, and I'm asking you to have that same philosophy when it comes to doubt and unbelief, when it comes to claiming your time back around people that don't deserve your most important real estate. How you see it determines how you see it. If I can get the proper blueprint, then I can build the proper structure or monument. Until I'm able to create, until I'm able to create the blueprint that brings me prosperity, that brings me wealth, that brings me healing, that brings me the best version of myself, then I'll never fully grasp that version. And I'm telling you that there's a version of you out there that where you can accomplish everything that the great I am has given you since the foundation of the earth. There's a version of you out there right now that eyes have not seen, ears have not heard what's laid up for you. There is a version of you right now that provides stability for your whole community. Forget just your household. Your presence will provide stability for your whole community. There is a version of you out there, but it requires that you see it through the proper lens. What I can promise you is that if you continue to live, 5 years will go by. It will be 2027 in no time. It will be. And if I'm not seeing through any different lens than what I'm seeing now, then my manifestation will be similar to what it is today. But if I got to be here 5 years, why not maximize the next 5 years in order to get exactly out of this earth what God has already given you before the foundation? Ladies and gentlemen, how you see it determines how you physically see it. It's your boy, the motivational teacher. I appreciate you all hopping in here hopping in here with me for about 30 minutes tonight on this Thursday night. Hey, I hadn't seen y'all in 2 weeks, so I just felt the urge to pop on since I made it back safely and I'm back from my travel. So I wanted to hop on and say, what's up, man? How you see it. No, I'm saying how you see it determines how you see it. Until next time, I'm challenging you to wage war on mediocrity. I'm out.
It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war.